Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of That's Debatable. Today we're going to be throwing it back to my old retail days, and I'm excited to share this one. I don't know if I've ever shared it before, but nonetheless, get ready. If you guys have been following me for a minute, a lot of you probably know me from my server stories and those days of when I worked at the daycare and my dance stories, which have gotten me in a lot of trouble, but that's fine. But I got a job, my first job. Well, my first job was when I worked at an optical, my mom's optical, like just filing records, and I would only get paid like $5, $10 a day. But my mom would buy me lunch, but whatever. It's like teaching you the value of money. And my first real job was when I worked in the mall. I feel like everybody's kind of had a mall job. And it was at Jamba Juice. I worked at Jamba Juice for 4 years, I think, on and off, because I had like other stuff obviously going on. My longtime friend, Lucas, got me this job, and he was like, oh, it's so much fun. Like, come, like we'll be able to spend even more time together. And I was like, okay, perfect, no problem. So I go and I apply, work at Jamba Juice, got the job, obviously. And this was before the Travis Scott sicko mode, like, no, Jamba Juice. I don't know how many times I've heard that god phrase pointed at me, but yeah, this was before like it was like a big thing. And I worked there for like 2 years, and then I left because I was a competitive dancer, as you guys probably know, and I had to essentially just give it up. Dance took up the majority of my life. So I didn't really have any time. I kept missing practice, and one thing your dance teachers are going to do is they're going to hold you accountable, and they're like, no, girl, so then you're not in the dance. So I quit that job. And then this was actually because the Columbia story probably dropped already. This was around the time that I was supposed to go to Columbia. This is when I got stuck in Columbia. My dance team was going to go to Disney, and I, being the fact that I didn't really have a job at this point, they were like, oh, you should come to Disney, you should come to Disney, you should come to Disney. But Disney's expensive, y'all. Like, Disney's expensive. You can't go there with just $100 and try to like make a day out of it. Like, you really can't. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna go to Disney with you guys, I have to get a job. And the only job that I knew would take me back in a heartbeat would be Jamba Juice. So I said, okay, sure. Let me reach out to my old general manager and see if she'd be willing to take me on. And maybe I can work for like the next 2-3 weeks, pick up a whole bunch of shifts. I was only making like $8 an hour, which now sounds crazy, but like at that point I thought I was rich, but whatever, it is what it is. And I was like, listen, $8 helps. I need the money. It is what it is. She responds back. She goes, yeah, sure. I'll put you on the schedule. We'll start you off with like, a couple of days just so you can get like acclimated back to it. And I said, girl, a mega mango is always going to be a mega mango. Like, there's nothing I need to be acclimated to. A razzmatazz is always going to be a razzmatazz. I know how to make it. It's fine. I can still make those drinks to this day. So I get on, and Lucas tells me, hey, there's a completely different staff now. Just so you know, it's not the same people as before. There are still some of us that are still the same, but a majority of them are different. I said, that's fine. I don't care. I've never had an issue with meeting people. I don't have any I don't think I'm a hard person to get along with. I'm really excited. I'm excited to go back. I'm excited to see my old friends, some new friends, whatever. Walk in. And instantly, I felt like this weird tension. And there was this girl there that was new. I've never worked with her before. Her name was, let's call her Allison. Let's call her Allie, whatever. Her name was nothing like that, but let's call her Allie. And I said hi, and I got no response back. And I said, okay, cool, great, awesome. Also, keep in mind, this is a mall job. A lot of these kids, a lot of us were in high school at that point. So it's like, I feel like anytime you work in a job where a lot of high school people work, you're going to get the same type of atmosphere as if you were in high school. So I was like, okay, I've seen this before. Like, it is what it is. And at that point at Jamba Juice, girl, I would come out with the 9s. And, I was younger, so my hair was thicker. And I would just come out with my full hair, my ponytails, makeup, all this, like, live my best life. I was like, I'm feeling myself. And I guess somebody wasn't really happy about that. Whatever. Then I ended up meeting somebody else named Junior, who actually is still my friend to this day. I talked to him this week. I met some amazing friends. Like Josh and Junior I met through Jamba Juice. And those are still my friends to this day. So he was like, hey, first time I met him. This is our first time meeting, by the way. He's like, hey, how you doing? My name is Junior, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, so nice to meet you. Great, cool, awesome. And I'm then starting to like kind of talk to everybody else, and I feel like this really weird vibe. And these other girls that were there, Allison and her friends, they didn't speak the same language, or they spoke English, but they would speak in their native language, which wasn't Spanish. Um, and their native language, I guess it's you can kind of understand what they're saying. So I knew if they were talking about me, but I couldn't really put all of it together. I was like, okay, I just walked in here. I just met you 10 minutes ago, girl. That's fine. Like, okay. I know you're talking about me. I'm crazy, but I'm not that crazy. One thing that's not crazy about me is my intuition. My intuition tells me something is happening. Something is happening. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe she doesn't want to be friends. Maybe she has more than enough friends. That's okay. I'm cleaning something on the floor, and I accidentally drop like this little bucket of water that we have. Like it's a hand sanitizer where you keep the cloths to like wipe the counters. I drop it, and then she starts laughing. And I'm like, okay, I feel like this is an instance where you're laughing at me, not with me, but I'm going to let it go. But that's fine. It's my first shift back. Like I'm not, how crazy do I look coming back after my first shift back and I'm ready in beef? Like, no. So it starts laughing. She says something in her language, and then she mumbles something. And she's like, I don't know why general manager, insert name here, hires dumbass. Oh my God. Are you okay? I was like, ooh, that was a poke. That was a poke. That was a little bit of a poke. That was a jab, but okay. And then she's cutting ginger because obviously we work with vegetables and fruit and whatnot. And I'm standing right by the garbage. And instead of walking 1 foot over to go like this to drop it, she decides to throw it. And now I'm right by the garbage. So she throws it, and you could say whatever you want. Threw it and it hit me. And I was like, I wasn't on my spiritual journey at that point. So I was like, dude, why are you throwing shit at me? In my head, I was like, Emily, just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. And then she sees that it hits me and laughs and throws another one. I said, so what are we, little girls that we're having like a food fight? What is this? So then because one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to defend myself. I speak up and I look at her. I was like, yo, why are you throwing stuff at me? I didn't throw shit at you. Yes, you did. You threw it at me the first time, didn't look, laughed, and then threw something else at me. Like, I was like, you're not slick. Like, stop throwing shit at me. What's your problem with me? I just got on the shift. We've been on the shift for like an hour or two. Junior's mopping the floor, listening to Chisme. His ears like growing like 10 times the size. And he's like, oh God, oh God. And Allie was like, I didn't throw at you. Not everything is about you. I don't know what you think this is. Just because you came in here, you used to work here, doesn't mean that you know anything. Like, don't be coming in here and try to tell people like how they do their job. How I do my job is how I do my job, and I do it better than you. I said, okay, we're still getting paid $8 though. Like, we're like, thank you, I guess. Oh, you are MVP at Jamba Juice. Wow! Like, I'm so happy for you. We're still gonna get paid the same. Doesn't matter. And also, I've been clocked in for 2 hours. Like, girl, take a chill pill. So I go to the back, and I'm like trying not to get angry because I'm like, I don't want to have to like explain to my general manager that my first shift started with a fight. Like, I don't want to have to do that. And I just go to the back, and then Junior comes, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I just don't understand why she has an attitude with me. Like, I just got on. Like, she doesn't know me. She doesn't know anything about me. Like, why is she being so aggressive? And I guess she heard that, and she comes to the back and starts cursing me out and starts being like, I told you, bitch, like, nothing is about you. If you're going to walk up in here, don't think that nothing is about you. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you, you dumb bitch. And I was like, oh my God. And I turned around. I was like, what happened to you today for you to be so aggressive? Do you even know my name? Do you even know my last name? I don't even think I know your name. I was like, why are you fighting with me? I was like, oh my God. The insecurity that is like reeking from you is so heavy in this room that honestly, I feel bad for you. And she's like, feel bad for me? I don't need a stupid little feel bad for me. You don't know who I am. You don't know where I come. I said, okay, I really don't know who you're right. I don't know who you are. And you don't know who I am. So why are we fighting? And she's like, I'm not insecure. You're insecure. And I was like, says the one that's fighting with me. I just got on. I was like, you know what, girl? I'm not doing this with you. Not doing this with you. Please get out of my face. And that's when I had to call my general manager because she was looking at everything through the camera. So she was sending Junior like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I'm like, listen, Best, my general manager, I don't know what you got me into, but like, I've never been this type of person to come into the shift and fight. I've been working here for you. I have 2 years of experience underneath you. You know that this wasn't, I don't do this. You know that she's like, listen, it's fine. I'm going to send her home for the day. Just finish the shift off and then we'll talk about it later. Finish the shifts off. She finished the shifts and she leaves and she goes, I'm being sent home. Send her home. Why? And then she like threatens to fight me. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, we're not gonna fight you. I'm wearing a Jamba Juice t-shirt. Like, girl, be so for real right now. Like, I'm not doing this with you. And also, they don't pay me enough to fight with you. Like, if maybe I was getting paid $25 an hour, then maybe I'd swing. But I'm getting paid $8 an hour. And after taxes, what, like $40 you make off the shift? Woo. Like, great. So we go. They make up the next schedule and I'm not working with her anymore. And my general manager accidentally puts us on a shift together. And again, it was just straight beef. And now her friends are there. So now her friends are beefing with me. And I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with this. This is like so aggravating. Like, I'm really here to just make money. Like, what is happening? And the whole environment of that workspace was so like volatile that one day a customer walks up and I was always in charge of the register because I just wanted to do the register. I didn't want to make the smoothies. I was always good at the register, good at upselling, really good at it. Some girl walks up. She's around like, maybe she was like 14, 15. And I guess she was trying to like act all bold in front of like her guy friends. So she was like giving me an attitude. And I was like, okay, whatever. I don't really care. Like, you're still gonna get your smoothie. You're gonna pay for it. You're gonna leave. It's gonna be less than a 5-minute interaction for me. No sweat off my back. And this actually, I told this story on TikTok, but I tell the girl, so I'm like, oh, what would you say? Like, I want a strawberry banana. And I said, okay, no problem, but I don't want the banana. So just a strawberry smoothie? A strawberry banana with no banana. Did you not hear? And I'm like, oh my God, who raised you, you little gremlin? So then because I'm working with Allie, she's like feeding into this girl's like attitude. So then the girl, she goes to talk to her and I'm like, whatever, just get her off my register. I have a whole nother line, get her off the way. And Allie's like kind of like, the girl was like talking about me to her guy friends and being like, oh my God, I guess they can't hear. Like, why? I told her what I wanted and like, she's so like, oh my God, such a pick me that I'm like, ew, girl, like it's gonna be okay. At the end of the day, somebody will choose you. It'll be fine. And Allie then hears that and then she starts talking about me to her, to the customer. And she's like, I've had my own problems with her. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, here's the email to HR. Like, this is the email to da-da-da-da if you want to write a bad complaint. Like, she's been getting so many bad complaints. And I was like, whoa. I was like, oh my God, you're setting me up from inside? I was like, this is a setup from the inside. I was like, girl, for real? Like, this girl was just like on a power trip and I was just like not feeding into it. And it could have been less than a 5-minute interaction. Let her talk. Who cares? Doesn't matter. But don't go from behind the counter and be like, you're so right. She's a piece of shit. You know what she did to me the other day, actually? Da-da-da-da. She threw ginger at me. I said, whoa, now you're lying. I was like, no, you're lying on my name. Now you're lying on my name. So now I'm getting furious. So I go to the back. Junior's there again because I always work my shift with Junior. And I was like, am I crazy? Or am I just being set up? I was like, I don't understand. Da-da-da. So then Allie comes to the back. She's like, I'm going to the bathroom. Somebody make her smoothie. Okay, whatever. I can make the smoothie. I just want her out of my face. Like, I just want her out of my face. I want this guest out of my face. Like, you're being aggravating. This girl's being aggravating. This girl has it out for me for whatever reason. I don't understand why, but whatever. Like, I just want her out of me. So I make her smoothie, give it to her, and I'm like, here you go. Have a good day. And she looks and she goes, this is watery. And I was like, well, you just got a strawberry smoothie with water. Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, because it's just strawberry and water, it's going to be a little bit more, like the consistency is going to be obviously looser as opposed to if you put like bananas in it, you put some powder in it, like the stuff that how we usually recommend to make it is that's how we can ensure the consistency. But if you just wanted strawberries and water, it's still going to keep coming out like that. I can add more strawberries, but I could just try that. Yeah, try that. Grabs a smoothie and it's a counter, slides a smoothie over and like throws it. And I'm like, oh, nasty. I'm like, whatever, leave it alone. Throw the smoothie out, make her another one. And I'm like, this one has a little bit of a thicker consistency because I put more strawberries into it, but it was still the same because it's still water. It's just water and fruit blended together. Like it's going to be, you have to be able to drink it. And if you wanted a pudding, it's downstairs. Like, this is not, whatever. Give her the smoothie again. And the guy, like, I guess her guy friends behind her are like giggling because I guess they had like a master plan. And she goes, did I not say I didn't want it to look like this? I want it to be thicker. Do you not know how to make smoothies? You work at a smoothie shop. I was like, again, yes, I know how to make smoothies. I was like, but if you want me to add more strawberries into it, it's going to keep coming out like that. Unless you want me to add something else. You want me to add raspberries into it? Do you want me to add some, like, or I could do less water, but then it's going to be very, very thick. If that's how you want it, that's fine. I can give you it with the spoon instead of a straw, if that's okay. And she goes and grabs it. She goes, I don't want this, make it again, and throws it at me. What's with the, and in my head, I'm like, what is with this theme of people thinking that it's okay to throw stuff at me? This girl's throwing ginger at me. You just threw a smoothie on me, and the smoothie hit my chest, and I'm wearing an apron, luckily, but it opens, and the whole smoothie's on me. I am covered in strawberry smoothie. And I'm like, and I had the blender in my hand. Damn, oops. I had the blender in my hand, and I was like, did you just throw this at me? And she was like, yeah, because I told you how I wanted it and you're not listening to me. Now in front of all of these other customers and all of these other guests, I'm like, are you crazy? I was like, why would you? Boom. The blender just so happened to slip from my hands. And you guys can pretty much get the picture of what happened there. And ended up touching this other girl. And she's like, what the f***? I have all this smoothie stuff on me. And I said, and now we both have smoothie stuff on us. And now we're both covered in strawberry smoothie. You see, you don't like it, right? I was like, and what reason did you think that it was okay to throw that at me? I was like, I'm here trying to help you. You've been here with an attitude. What is your problem? Let me talk to your manager. Okay. Manager at that point was my friend. And he was like, what happened? And I was like, she threw a smoothie at me. And he's like, Emely, like, I was like, first of all, I can't make this up. I'm covered in smoothie. I'm covered in strawberries and water. You think this is fun for me? My shirt is wet. I'm not having a good time. I reek of fruit now, like, which is great and everything. But like now I'm sticky. Now I'm sticky and I don't like it. And yeah, I did. The blender accidentally left my hand and hit her. So I don't know what you want to do with that, but you deal with it. Goes out and she's like, yeah, I'm covered in da-da-da-da. And then another guest was like, why did you throw the smoothie at her? I didn't throw the smoothie at her. I was like, so now we lie. Now we all sit here and we just lie and lie and lie and lie. And there's so many people here that were witness to you throwing a smoothie at me. Okay, cool, great, awesome, love that. So the guest is like, she threw the smoothie at her. Why would you throw it at her? And like, she chucked it at me too. She wasn't even like a little small, like gentle, like, It was like a boom. That even the cup just like everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. They handled the situation. He made her the smoothie. She didn't like it. And she's like, I want my money back. And he was like, you know what? Take the $4. Just take the $4. It'll be fine. Like, really just take it. Like, but don't come over here and try to like throw stuff at people. Again, guys, don't ever go and start throwing things at people. Like, that's so stupid. Like, for what reason did you think that it's okay to throw stuff at people that are working? Like, what? That makes no sense. Like, that's literally assault. Or I think. No, that is assault. You can't throw something at somebody. And me too. I should have not, the blender should have not accidentally fell out of my hand. That was completely the blender's fault. And I can't say anything else about that. But then Allie starts going crazy and starts being like, see, why do we hire her? Why do we? So then I got in her face because at this point I'm sticky. I have stuff on me. You kind of instigated this. You kind of like fed like the fuel for her to be aggressive with me, even though I was genuinely just trying to diffuse the situation of just get her a smoothie and go. So I look at her and I was like, I've met people like you before. I just didn't think that y'all really exist. And she was like, what do you mean? I was like, those insecure girls that just feel so bad about themselves that they feel the need to have to then go and attack other people to make themselves feel better. That's so crazy. And I'm so sorry for you. And again, I'll repeat, I feel bad for you. I was like, your insecurities have nothing to do with me, babe. I was like, so if you want to fight me because of how bad you feel about yourself, maybe you should fight yourself. Fight your own demons, because I'm not one of them. She got furious. She was like, what the fuck? I'm not insecure. I'm not there. Then she tries to she pushes me. And I was like, oop, that's it. No. I was like, I'm done with people throwing things at me and people putting their hands on me. No. So I was like, Allie, I promise you it will be smoke every single time we walk in here. I've also been here for 2 years before this. I know that I just got back on the shift. I just got back on the job. But I've been here for a hot minute. And Bess, my general manager, can be a testament to I don't do this. I don't fight on the shift. I don't do this. I'm here to do my job. I'm here to work. I'm here to make my money. I'm here to leave. But if you want to do this every single time, we could do this every single time. This will be the worst place you go to. And it's your job. So it already is the worst place you go to. So then we had to have a meeting, and she ended up being really nice after that. She still had an attitude every once in a while, but instantly the next shift, her mood changed. Because I guess Bess sat her down and was like, you can't instigate stuff with the guests. You can't talk about the rest of the people on the staff. Can't do any of that. So I told that story on TikTok. That was one of the first, the second story I told. And everybody ate it up. Everybody was like, oh my God, you're so crazy, girl. And I'm like, I'm not though. I'm really not. I just feel like I'm put in situations where it's I get tested. And a lot of the times I'll let stuff go. There's a lot of stories where people have tried to do stuff where I'm just I'm not going to deal with this. But everybody has a line. Everybody has their own boundaries. Everybody has things that you shouldn't cross. And at that job specifically, those boundaries were crossed so much. And also I knew it was happening behind the scenes of just if you guys want to say that I'm doing something wrong, I can really go and tell on all of you. But I'm not going to say it. And I'm not going to say it here because I'm pretty sure that some of those people still work there. So I'm not going to dish out their dirty laundry. But it's if you want to talk about professionalism in the work environment, let me tell you, not one person is upholding to that standard. Not one. All the way up from the general manager down below. So I posted that story. And I got some really mad people in my DMs. I got people being from the job being that wasn't true. And I was like, well, you weren't there. I was like, you can ask the people that were there and they will say, yes, this is what happened. I was like, you're just angry because I'm putting your job at stake because of the fact that you weren't willing to protect the work environment. That's what it is. I was like, there was no reason that anytime I walked in, this girl was always ready to fight me. I don't know her. And I stayed there not that much longer. I stayed there for I think the rest of the year, and everything started getting a little bit better because at a point I started building different friendships. I was friends with Josh and Junior, so I really just kind of talked to them. I stayed to myself, didn't really talk to the rest of them. But again, it's so interesting when you get a job in high school and you're working with other high school people, how it really can turn into just a high school atmosphere. And I've witnessed that at Olive Garden. I've witnessed that at Jamba Juice. I've witnessed that at so many different other places. But I feel with the different styles of jobs that I've had, one thing I will always find is working with younger people just never works out because everybody doesn't really have an understanding of themselves or how they feel about things or why they react to things the way that they do. And working at Jamba Juice definitely taught me that. And when I told the story, I was like, I'm just going to get it out there. I don't really care. It is what it is. The girl shouldn't have thrown the smoothie at me. The girl did come back and apologize though. She's like, I'm sorry. That wasn't right. Basically we had to get mall security. Her parents got involved and her parents were like, apologize. And that was fine. I was like, I don't care as far as a guest to a service worker or whatever it may be, that relationship, I should hold myself to a different standard. You don't really have to. You come here to eat or you come here to enjoy a smoothie. You come here to enjoy something, right? So I need to be the one to hold my composure. But behind the scenes, in the locker room, when I'm getting tested, I don't need to. We're just the same. We're getting paid the same. We're wearing the same uniform. We are the same person at the end of the day. And yeah, it got a little bit of a backlash, but not even from my audience, from people that I used to work with, and not even people I used to work with, from one person I used to work with. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. That's all it's ever going to be. But let me tell you something. Working retail is not for me. It is not for me, especially on I worked in a mall. So especially on the Black Fridays. Oh my God. The stories that I have, and this is just one small story that I shared already. So I wanted to kind of elaborate as to why everything was happening. But the stories that I have from my retail days are probably the most terrible stories that I have within the service industry or just working in general. It was so bad. And I don't know what they're doing now, but yeah, I learned my lesson there. And I will never take on a job like that again. And luckily I wouldn't have to, but I don't know. I don't know, y'all. That time of my life was so crazy that I was like, I'm really getting attacked just because of the fact that I walked in with the Jamba Juice t-shirt on and I'm just the newest coworker technically. But I don't know. Girls be crazy sometimes. Even guys. Guys sometimes will get really aggressive with you on a shift. I don't know why. It's like we're all making the same. It's not like we're working towards commission where it's like a competition like that, because we're really not. We're all getting paid the same. But it's a little funny to look back on it now, because now me and all my other friends that used to work there, we just laugh and we're like, that was just a crazy time. Turns out that Allie had a crush on one of the guys that I was friends with. That's why it was like beef. Which, like, that alone shouldn't be beef. Like, what does it matter? I just walked in. Like, he just said hi to me. I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what your relationship is. I also have a boyfriend. I'm not trying to get involved in it. But that just goes to show that it's like, if y'all are going to go into work, take your personal feelings out of it. And I've given myself that same advice. You go into work, take whatever personal stuff that's happening within your life and leave it in your life. Because once you walk into those doors, you're at work and you're here to work and you're here to provide a service, whatever it may be. And yeah. That one's a little crazy. Think I'll go into like more retail stories moving forward, like daycare ones, because dealing with parents is like a whole different ballpark. But yeah, this one was really bittersweet to look back on, because this was like one of the first stories that I told before TikTok. I told it on like my Finsta, so it was a little sweet to tell it again. I'm sure some people won't be too happy to hear it again, but hey, whatever. It is what it is. It's my life. I experienced it. You shouldn't have let me experience it then. So that's just is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell me how you guys feel. What are your retail days? What do they look like? Have you guys ever worked in a retail job? What does that look like for you? And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.